Okay, to start off everything, the first thing we're going to get through real quick because it's only a few short videos. No, I'm doing this of my own accord. There we go, there we go, and you can do it. Get your husband, get your brothers, sisters, aunties, grandmas, nieces, uncles, cousins, all of them. Download the game. Get to level 10. That's all I'm saying. Just get to level 10 in the game. Trust me, you're going to enjoy that game a lot, a lot. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the stuff that's been going on with Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan. Of course, as you know, I've explained before, they are currently locked up in jail in Romania. Now, recently, they were supposed to go in to review if they were going to be released on the 30 days. I believe that was the case because it's been almost 30 days, and they have to give time prior. So it's usually about a week or so before the actual end date. They have to give time in order to allow the judge to think on it, make a ruling, move forward with the process. So that's happened. But during this point in time, there's been a couple of letters that have been sent out by Andrew and Tristan. The lawyer's spoken a great deal about stuff that's going on. And it seems a lot of the alleged victims have come out and spoken about this as well. Husband just walked by and he's interested in this game. He said it looked really good. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. All right. And yeah, I'd advise getting to level 10 before this Saturday. I think it's before Friday or Saturday or something like that. There's something with an event, and as well as it's coming up on the end of the month and everything kind of switches over. But anyway, these are two of the individuals who know the Tates very well, worked for them, everything else. And there's a couple of different videos we're going to take a look at real quick just to see what they have to say.
Any of them being aggressive or rude, they've always respected people. They started from zero. Uh, they lived in a shelter with their mom, and they had no food. They had no money.
Ai fost amenințată?
Nu, nu. N-am fost niciodată. Dacă eram amenințată, automat nu mai eram idiotă să stau în casa asta. Spuneau.
Now, if I was ever threatened, I wasn't stupid enough to stay in that house. They're talking about the security guards, the Tates themselves, the two girls who worked for them. They're saying that none of them made any threats or had anything aggressive to say or had any aggressive nature towards them or anything else.
Stau în casa asta. Spuneau că fetele care veneau la ei acasă erau intimidate de securitate cu arme. Eu pot spun că niciodată cei de la securitate n-au intimidat pe nimeni, nu au arme la vedere, nu sunt puși acolo să
So they didn't even have their guns in sight of the girls or do any of the other things. And what you have to keep in mind right now, too, is that everything that's been said has been a thing of they were human traffickers. They're allegedly human traffickers and running a criminal enterprise, and they were keeping these women against their volition, all of that stuff. Now, the big thing is this: when you really think about human trafficking, if you thought about human trafficking 5, 10 years ago, something like that, human trafficking meant that you were taking someone against their will. That's human trafficking. Usually, you look at it in the aspect of they're possibly getting sold off as well. What movie was it? Taken. Human trafficking. Right there. A damn good example of human trafficking. But then again, you look at the way that Romania itself actually restructured that idea. They're trying to say that it has something to do with fraud as well. And the fraud being that the girls were sold an idea of being in a relationship with these guys. The fact of the matter is, You're just pushing for something a little bit extra at that point.
Intimideze fete sau să întâmple alte lucruri.
But it's written Tate.
But your tattoo is written Tate. So I guess one of the girls, or maybe both of them, have tattoos that say Tate, their names on her. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Why?
I have lots of tattoos, different ones. The Harry Potter tattoo, the moon and the sun.
Am pe mâna stângă tatuajul ăsta
I have a tattoo on my left arm that says Tate Girl,
care scrie Tate Girl, pe
Da.
care l-am făcut din respect
which I got out of respect for them.
pentru ei.
Are you Tate's property?
I'm no one's property.
Suntem prieteni buni de 2 ani de zile, cam așa. Poți să mă treci pe mine ca și victimă, dar
You cannot describe me as a victim if I'm not a victim. Now, this is something that's been being said repeatedly by multiple girls. And there's a couple more videos to kind of back this up. So we're going to take a look at those too.
eu n-am spus că sunt o victimă.
Hi, first
Oh, who's this? This was a random one. I didn't expect that one. Okay. Here's another one right here.
I guess everyone knows what happened with Andrew and Tristan Tate. They are the kindest and smartest guys that I have ever met. I'm Ukrainian refugee. It was Tristan
Oh, okay.
who helped not only me, also my mom and my grandma. On the border of Ukraine, he gave a lot of warm clothes, coats for children, boots, food, everything. Andrew and Tristan, they helped financially a lot.
And then I think this is the one here. Yeah, this girl here. Hers was interesting because she's like legitimately saying nothing happened. And they're trying to force me to say something did.
Don't care about the truth. The other two victims that the police claim to be involved in this case are me and Beatrice. We have been given 3 statements so far, clearly saying we are not victims, but our statements keep getting thrown away.
Another fact is that the police threw away the surveillance footage from the house, inside the house and outside the house, because they don't consider it evidence. We want justice. They want political points.
The police don't care.
Now, that's crazy if that's true. All right. Because the evidence that was shown was of the girls leaving the house doing different things. Like the one in particular, the one that happened back in April, she had left the house to go out, grab, food, the food that came, snacks, whatever the case may be, went back, kept partying it up. And it was known that she had lied to her boyfriend saying that she was doing something other than what it was that she was doing. This has become like a very, very common thing. Let's check out this other video that popped up.
First of all, what I want to say, they are the kindest and smartest.
Oh,
guys
okay. That's the same. Okay. That's the same girl. So the other things that I saw were women who were coming out saying this very same thing, but then talking about that there was a political aspect to it. Whereas currently someone, I don't know, I do not follow politics in, Romania, anything like that. But there's someone that's actually being brought, or a new, I don't know if it's a president or if they're head of whatever there. But what's happening is that during this point in time, they're trying to earn essentially political points, with the rest of the world and with the people there in Romania. And the Tates are kind of a stepping stool to get in that position, make some form of an example of them. And guess what? It makes me look better when it comes to my political runnings. Now, the one thing I'll say is when it comes to the human trafficking element of it, all of it, honestly, all of it, you're innocent until proven guilty. That's just it. We should all have that in our mind. But of course, a lot of people allow their feelings, their emotions, their dislike, their hatred, because of what they've seen or heard, whether they've actually seen something themselves or whether they heard it through a word of mouth sort of situation. There's going to be those people that are just simply not going to like them, and of course say, oh, they're guilty of human trafficking, of anything else they're actually being that the claims that are being made against them. There's going to be people who are going to look and say, well, they changed my life. I don't think they could have done this. On both sides, you have to take out the emotion of it and look at the evidence. The one thing that I'll say, and what keeps popping up, is that there's no real evidence against them for the human trafficking of it at all. Could there possibly be evidence against them for committing tax fraud or tax evasion? Possible, based on the video we watched that actually had Andrew himself explaining, how to circumvent taxation. How do you explain that away? Maybe the lawyers have an idea. Maybe there was something more to it. Maybe that was just him saying, whatever for entertainment purposes. Who knows? But when it comes to the human trafficking element of it, the problem I have is that this isn't actual human trafficking in the true definition of what human trafficking was. This is utilizing a new expansion on the idea of human trafficking, saying that it's wrong for a guy to lie to a woman in order to have sex with her or to get into business with her. They keep claiming that it was the whole Romeo-esque ideal that was put forth that actually makes this such. The problem with it is that if you consider that fraudulent, if you consider what they were doing fraud, then how can you not consider the women, any woman, committing fraud if they work in camming or on OnlyFans, in the sex industry as a whole? How can you not consider it that? That goes for anyone that thinks that because of them using the Romeo approach that they're guilty. How could you not see that camming is a lie when those girls are saying, oh, I love you. Send me your money. You think is all this. You think is all that. They don't know you. They don't give a shit about you. All they care about is the money. How's that not considered fraud then? The women in Romania who do that very job, how are they not getting locked up for committing, in essence, a fraudulent act? Now, granted, no one's coming to them, but if you're looking at it from the perspective of setting up the business the way that they did, which again, like I said, based on what he said with his own mouth, there's a problem. The problem is that the business did not sound like it was fully set up properly, and the tax situation, the tax evasion, if that is a fact, it's an issue. But committing fraud on these individuals while helping them progress and make money, how are they not held liable for going along with it? They are grown individuals. They are grown women. It's not like they were trying to manipulate little kids. We don't take enough personal accountability, and the law somehow is actually being set up to allow people to circumvent personal accountability, even though that's the very thing that's supposed to keep you out of any form of legal trouble. Taking personal accountability and thinking about the actions that you're about to step into. Thinking about the scenarios you're about to step into and the actions you're going to take in said scenarios. wouldn't they be considered just as wrong? But then to have these individuals coming out and saying that we're not victims, but the police are trying to make us sign these statements, these petitions, all of these other things, make us look like victims to the rest of the world, that's a real questionable situation at that point. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to play out, but it looks like they are being held in jail again, more than likely for possibly another 30 days. I think that in Romania there is the ability to have them for the longest amount, I believe, is 6 months. Because what you have to remember is that they are still searching for evidence. It sounds like, from what everyone's saying, there is no evidence in the case file. They haven't come out with anything new. And in fact, a new character just arrived in the whole thing a couple of days ago when they were actually being taken to the courthouse while they were determining whether or not they were being held for the extra 30 days or not. They brought in a specialist who is going to be scouring through all of the computer data. Even though they've already gone through this and done so over the last 30-day period of time, and even prior when the investigation was first started, even though that's already been done, they're getting someone who is a specialist to go on a deeper dive than what they've already done. Now, of course, we can all say, well, there could be some, material that the police overlooked with their own personal specialists. You're bringing in an outside source and a third party into the investigation in order to do this now. There could be something that's found there. But if they were sloppy, if they were as sloppy as what this seems, that, they're essentially making them look to have been sloppy individuals. Stupid. Wouldn't there have been some form of evidence on the surface already? The reason it hasn't gone to trial or gone any further than the actual hold in jail is because they really don't have a damn thing to take them to trial about as of yet. The only thing is, I said, I'll say it one last time. Look, about the only thing you can really take into account is what he said as far as the alleged or potential tax evasion. That's it. That's the only real thing I've seen so far. Everything else has kind of been, at best, circumstantial. What's up, Teflon? How you doing? Lurking? It's all good, boy. It's all good. Everything else, at best, is circumstantial. But, hey, I don't know. You guys let me know how you feel about it, what you think on it. Do you think that they're guilty? Do you think that they're innocent? Do you think that there needs to be more, that there actually needs to be any, specific evidence that would swing you either way? Go ahead and let me know in the comments, all right, on YouTube and, of course, here in chat. All right, we're going to go on to this next video.